Hey guys, welcome to the Liberal Hive Mind, a channel solely focused on exposing the abundant hypocrisy of the left. There are no merits whatsoever, no legal merit whatsoever, to this absolute harassment campaign that we are seeing from the Democrats. How are we supposed to believe that Donald Trump is this evil, awful criminal, this traitor to the nation, when all we've seen over the last couple of years are politically motivated witch hunts? Witch hunts that continue to flop, and one after another, back to back, continue to lead to the same result of total exoneration for the former president. And of course, it's still going on. It's not just the January 6th Commission that continues to overstep its boundaries and continues to act in such despicable political manner. There's also the New York Attorney General, who is leading a completely politically motivated legal assault on the president because the Democrats are hellbent on one thing. It's not achieving justice. It's stopping Donald Trump from being able to run again. It is harassment. It is wrong. And there's a video now from 2018 that is resurfacing, which at least to me pretty much proves the whole thing, and which also, in my opinion, should immediately calls for a mistrial in this case. It absolutely proves political motivation. Let me show you guys this stuff. It's absolutely crazy. But of course, before we get into any of it, please make sure to leave a like, comment, subscribe, share the video as much as possible. We're still shadow banned by the YouTube algorithm, hidden from non-subscribed viewers. And with that out of the way, let's roll the tape. Alright folks, so first of all, for those of you guys who aren't aware, the New York Attorney General's office has been going after Donald Trump for years. This whole thing started in 2019, and it's what led to that court decision that eventually got Donald Trump's tax returns released to the Attorney General's office. It started off as a civil investigation, where potentially the Trump organization, if found guilty, would have had to pay a fine, and it's now escalated to a criminal investigation based on information that still hasn't been released to the public. And it's all surrounding one specific individual named Letitia James. Here she is from a couple years ago, voicing her suspicion of the Trump organization.
President Trump was almost on the verge of bankruptcy, and then all of a sudden he was flush with money. And we all know that domestic banks were not offering him, extending any credit to him. And so the question is, where did he get all of that money from?
And so it seems as though her entire investigation, or the basis of her investigation, stems from a hunch of wrongdoing. And immediately I question myself, is that enough to launch an investigation? Well, from what we understand, he was close to bankruptcy, and then all of a sudden he was flush with cash. There must be something illegal. We're going to then legally fight to get access to all of his financial documents. Now again, I'm not a legal expert, but is that probable cause? Maybe someone who's a lawyer can fill me in the YouTube comments if there's actual legal merit to investigate him in the first place. Donald Trump's perspective, basically from the start, has been this.
Case about your taxes has now ruled that you do need to turn over your taxes. Do you have a reaction to that?
Well, the Supreme Court said if it's a fishing expedition, you don't have to do it. And this is a fishing expedition, but more importantly, this is a continuation of the witch hunt, the greatest witch hunt in history. There's never been anything like it.
Donald Trump claims that it's a witch hunt. And we also have recent news reporting that Trump is now suing the New York Attorney General over her civil investigation. Former President Donald Trump is suing New York Attorney General Letitia James, seeking an end to a years-long civil investigation. James has requested that Trump sit for a January 7th deposition to look into his company's assets. Trump says that James' mission since 2018 has been to harass and intimidate him and his associates. The lawsuit describes James as having, quote, personal disdain for Trump and points to her numerous statements that she's made about him, including her boast that her office sued his administration 76 times and tweets during her 2018 campaign that she had her, quote, eyes on Trump Tower and that Trump was, quote, running out of time. And if that is not enough to prove that there is clear political motivation here, well, a 3-year-old clip is now resurfacing and making its way around, which continues to add fuel to the fire. Folks, this is Letitia James, New York's new Attorney General. Folks, this is Letitia James before she got that job title.
And what would you say to people who say, oh, I'm not going to bother to register to vote because my voice doesn't make a difference, or I'm just one person?
I say one name, Donald Trump. That should motivate you. Get off your vote.
Will you sue him for us?
Oh, we're gonna definitely sue him. We're gonna be a real pain in the ass. He's gonna know my name personally.
I love it. He probably does already.
And so once again, I'm not a legal expert, but how is that okay? How is it that Donald Trump is constantly under investigation by politically motivated Democrats in positions of power, either abusing state power or federal agencies to go after him, with what seems to be little to no probable cause in the first place? She literally stated that we are going to be a pain in the A. and campaigning for her position as Attorney General, not to be a fair arbiter of the law, but rather to just harass and go after Donald Trump, vote for me, because I'm going to use taxpayer dollars in my office to repeatedly legally harass the president, and then boasting about filing 76 lawsuits against him. You know, it's crazy, and it's the same double standard we constantly talk about. The fact that Donald Trump was even able to do anything as president, given all the powers that be that were trying to crush and destroy him and stop him, is an astonishing feat within itself. It's non-stop. And even now that he's not president anymore, it's continuing with a clear stated goal, as many Democrats have said on news networks months prior, as their second impeachment sham was failing, that don't worry, we might not get him on this impeachment, but the state of New York can still go after him and stop him from being able to ever run again. It seems as though that's the true motivation more than anything, and the double standard, of course, that I mentioned earlier before going on a tangent. Why is Donald Trump constantly under investigation based on what seems to be little to no merit whatsoever, when Hunter Biden, Joe Biden, the big guy, Tony Bobulinski being on record essentially pointing the finger at Joe, a massive political corruption scandal with legitimate evidence, business associate testimony on the record? How is that not probable cause for a legitimate investigation into corruption and illegal activities? All of these legal entities are so focused on Donald Trump and Donald Trump and Donald Trump. Meanwhile, the Biden crime family doesn't seem to pique their interest whatsoever. I mean, how many times are we going to go through this over and over again? Donald Trump is a criminal, they say, and then he's immediately exonerated. Adam Kinzinger, once again, being the political puppet that he is, parading across left-wing media, pushing the same narrative.
Nobody, Jake, is above the law. Nobody. Not the president. He's not a king. Not former presidents. They aren't former kings. Nobody is above the law. And if the president knowingly allowed what happened on January 6th to happen, and in fact was giddy about it, and that violates a criminal statute, he needs to be held accountable for that. I'm not ready to go there yet, but I sure tell you, I have a lot of questions about what the president was up to.
So you are looking into that?
Yeah, we're looking at...
Again, they're looking for criminal activity. They're looking to pin a crime onto him, like pinning the tail on the donkey, instead of having actual evidence of a crime and then trying to put the whole thing together. And the way they act is perfectly clear, as they deliberately omit any type of evidence that might be contrary to their narrative, their preferred narrative, that Donald Trump is a criminal. Again, the stated goal is to stop Donald Trump from ever being able to run again. It's not about finding truth. I mean, we already know the truth. Liz Cheney looking like an absolute fool a couple weeks ago, basically obliterating their entire case. Biden's DOJ saying the same thing, that there's no evidence that Trump organized any of this. The FBI saying the same thing as well. Yet they're still pretending as if there's a legitimate criminal inquiry, when we know there isn't. Donald Trump's been right from the start. Is it possible that he's actually some grand criminal who's just been crying witch hunt this entire time? I mean, maybe. But chances are, he's been calling this whole thing a witch hunt from the start, and he's been pretty much proven right at every single point. And I don't know if it's time to start doubting him now. And with this clip from the Attorney General, Letitia James, and the various anti-Trump quotes that we have on record, it seems once again like another witch hunt. Just like this January 6th commission, more political perversion of the justice system, another arm, just another extension of the Russiagate and Ukrainegate impeachments. And I guess at the end of the day, just more proof that the deep state is petrified of losing to Donald Trump once again. It's the only thing that could explain this fiasco. I feel like if Donald Trump was just like, you know what, I'm just going to retire. I'm going to buy a beautiful house on the beach in the Bahamas and just play golf and spend time with my grandkids for the rest of my life. I feel like almost immediately, most of these investigations would just cease to exist because the political threat is no longer there anymore. Democrats and their all-out campaign to politicize and corrupt the legal system continues to be the greatest scandal that nobody is talking about. That's what I got for you guys, though. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure to leave a like, a comment, subscribe, share the video as much as possible. We're still shadow banned by the YouTube algorithm. I gotta get back to work though. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.